Greetings, I'm Kathy Green with Christian News and Interviews, and today I'm going to share a short video, I hope it's short, about the rapper Mase. And I'm outside, cars are driving by, so hopefully you won't be distracted by the cars that are driving by. But I came outside because my dog is up and I don't want him barking while I'm trying to do this video. So, the scriptures tell us that a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. And I would go as far as to say that failed rapper and false minister Mase is a double-minded man. I've lost count of how many times he's gone back and forth between declaring himself a rapper as opposed to declaring himself a man of God, declaring himself a pastor, declaring himself a great husband, so on and so forth. But this is the same man who married a woman, and while declaring his love for her, a college student came forward and said that he had requested her telephone number. This is the same man who I'm 100% positive that God did not call him to preach, yet there he is in the pulpit. Every time you look around, he's in the pulpit, and because of his name, people give him invitations to speak, and he's pastored several times. So he's gone back and forth between pastoring. He's gone back and forth between his marriage. Right now, the marriage is back on, but he and his wife have taken turns filing for divorce. He's just back and forth. But, it's interesting because God warns us that a double-minded man is unstable in how many of his ways? 100%. All of his ways. That means that they're double-minded in ministry, they're double-minded in spirituality, they're double-minded in their marriage life, their personal life, that you can't depend on their word. Okay, so with that in mind, he was recently called to be a pastor or chosen to be a pastor of a church. And the first thought that came to me was, what type of a pastor would turn his flock over to a wolf? I'm going to share with you part of a very long letter. I'm going to put a link of the letter below. But Ayana Mathis is the former administrative assistant to the church the church is called Gathering Oasis Church. The former administrative assistant is Ayana Mathis. She wrote a long letter about those pastors who turned that church over to Mase. And this will give you a good idea as to what type of people are sitting up in pulpits pretending to be pastors. It is scary. So this is an extremely long letter. I'm only going to share the parts of it that pertain to their character. Now, keep in mind that these are allegations, and they're allegations only. Okay? So these are some of the accusations coming from a woman who was the administrative assistant. The pastor in question is Cornelius Lindsay. Okay. So Ayana says, she says that they're guilty of coercing vulnerable employees to sign non-disclosure agreements to cover illegal business practices and sin, speaking to your employees in a manner that was condescending as well as emotionally and verbally abusive, slandering former employees that quit to new employees in an attempt to control the narrative around the true nature of their departure, using your ministry platforms to slander dissenters and sermons, YouTube videos and social media posts disguised as Christian colloquialisms, gaslighting your employees into thinking that they were called by God to endure your abusive behavior to complete their work assignments, withholding the full financial compensation you owed several employees to their work to punish them for disagreeing with you, knowingly exposing your employees and putting them at risk of getting entangled with your tax evasion and embezzlement of pinky promise funds, underpaying and overworking employees while giving their salaries approximately $27,000 and less that did not match the workloads nor the level of sacrifice they had to make. Misusing and abusing Pinky Promise's 501c3 nonprofit status to fund your lifestyle, colluding with Cornelius to allow for Pinky Promise funds to be intermingled with the Gathering Oasis Church finances. Now she continues with more accusations, and I'll share a few of them and then I'll stop. Again, you can find the entire link below. Colluding with several key leaders, paid and unpaid, within the organization and church to keep the illegal activity hidden, even going as far to allow them to spread these lies from the full pulpit. Having unrestricted access to church funds and using said funds for personal expenses. Colluding with several members of your board who just so happen to consist of yourself, Heather, his wife Heather, Agatha Marshall, and Nadra Cohen's, to ensure personal agendas passed that otherwise wouldn't, with true financial accountability. Engaging in sexual misconduct that has left your victims afraid to even speak out. So I started this video with the question, what type of pastor would turn his sheep over to a known wolf? If these accusations are true, you have your answer. Mase has no business in anybody's pulpit. And yet there he is. Stay tuned.